Welcome! I'm Marnie Ginsberg from Reading Simplified, where our job is to help classroom teachers streamline their reading instruction and accelerate their students' achievement. And I have a star student here with me. He's a kindergarten student, and he was in a special 5-day challenge we did in November. And I've gotten to work with him a few times since then. It's been a couple of weeks because of sickness and travel, but he came back and he showed me some cool work that he had done at school, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, how to help students along with their writing. And this is a great activity that he looks like he did in school. I can write words that match the illustrations, and he wrote, "The girl is hugging her mom." That was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. See the text? The girl is hugging her mom. And so that's great for the classroom environment. He's represented a lot of sounds here already. The girl is hugging her mom. He's got a representation of each sound, so that's good. He's segmenting and he's mapping sounds to print, but he doesn't know necessarily the spellings, and he doesn't necessarily know how to write ing and how to hear the sounds in ing because it kind of clusters together. So, but now we're learning it, aren't we?
No, I always learned it at school.
Oh, good. Well, we just had to.
Forgot it.
Right, we forget when we haven't practiced it enough. So we're going to keep practicing it. So what I encourage you to try is, if you have your students doing this kind of writing as a group, or rather in large group or at stations, and then take some of their work, a small section of your class, and then work with them one-on-one or in a small group to guide them through how to improve their writing so they represent it even better. So this is an activity that I call Write It. We can do Write It with just one word, we can do it with phrases, we can do it with sentences. But he had already had this great sentence, and we're going to keep working on it so that he can learn more about the sounds in girl and the sounds in her, because those are things he's going to encounter a lot. So let's get started. Are you ready? Okay, they're watching. So go ahead and write, "The girl is hugging her mom." And remember to say the sounds as you do it.
Wait.
Yep. Got it good so far? Perfect.
Girl.
You're up for girl now, okay? What's that last sound? You wrote it right? I just didn't hear it. Good. The girl. Hi from Yogita. We're glad you're here. All the way from South Africa. Very good. So we got a fan from South Africa. The girl is good. Nailed it.
Hug.
Yeah, he's getting it right. Somebody's giving you a thumbs up. Hug. Wow. Very good. Good.
Oh, wait.
You're leaving space, okay. The girl is hugging her. Wow. Hey, you remembered your period. That is so good. Okay, you guys, can you see how he's created this? This is actually the second time that we've done this, because I wasn't sure how much he would remember from the first time we did this. So he did this. I'm sorry, may I borrow this? He did this work in school. We did this very same activity about 10 to 15 minutes ago, and I taught him how to go through it, and I'll show you how I taught him to go through it. But some of it he remembered, because you can see he's got hugging, really well done there, and he's got, as compared to how he had it before, it was like H-U-G-E-N. And then he remembered some of the patterns that I taught him a minute ago. He just needs to work on which goes where. So we'll show him that. And so this is how Write It works. I make sure he represents every sound accurately, at least puts a sound on the page or the dry erase board. And did he do that? Does he have every sound represented, at least in some form? Give him a thumbs up. Yep, because he's got the sounds in girl, right? Girl. He doesn't have the right spelling yet for girl, but that's okay. That takes practice, takes time. So let's go. So I don't need to do anything, in other words, with him for the sounds. Like, he's nailed the sounds. That's all good. Now we're just going to work on the spelling. So this is the second wave of Write It. So if you're following, kind of going out of order here, but because he surprised me with how much he was able to do. First, you attack the sounds. Does he represent each sound in the word, or does he add sounds? Work on that, because that's the phonemic awareness. You can expect him to do that and just coach him through it. If he didn't hear the sounds in mom and he wrote mum, and he's not in Britain, then you would say, well, what do you hear in mom? And you get him to represent it in something reasonable. Okay, so let's put it down and we'll make the 2 fixes, and then you'll be done. There's just 2 fixes, because you've learned a ton of them. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first fix. First fix in girl. This is the in girl. Can you see that, guys? So I'm not writing the whole word. I'm just showing them the one part, that the spelling. Where is girl? Okay. So can you see that? The girl. Yep, he's getting it. Okay, so that's the in girl. And here's the in her.
Okay. Where's her? Okay. Oh.
You got girl. You know what? It's hard for me to read that. Can we try it so that it's really clear? And we want it to be clear for all of our audience too. Oh my, tell me the sounds in her. Okay, so that's it. If you need to work on the sounds, you do that first. He didn't need to it, but then you just teach him the phonics spellings that he confused. So he is going through a process with you to get more accurate with his spelling, and it's really not just for spelling. It's great if he can spell her accurately, but also what we're doing is we're reinforcing that ER is and IR is So he's getting that reinforcement, which will help him to read words. Okay, so now the last step, we have a few seconds before his patience runs out. He's a young kindergarten boy. He's worked hard, and it's a late day. So how about we pick a new color, and you underline the There's 2 Go find them. This is just a reinforcement. Get his attention on those inside parts of words. If you have any questions about how I would do Write It, if you have a student where they're having trouble with writing, please put them in the comments, and I would love to dialogue with you about it. Okay, did you get them? So we show our fans? The girl is hugging her mom. He's got the 2 You remember those
Mm-hmm.
Where's the in girl? And where's the in her? Okay. So which word needs this And which word needs this Okay, I'm going to do a trick. This is just if you have a little more time, you really want to first enforce because these are really high frequency spellings and really high frequency words, so it may be worthwhile. But I wouldn't necessarily do this every time with Write It, but I think you can handle it already. Have you memorized the and her? Okay, there it goes. Can you write her and say the sounds as you do it? Say the sound. You're writing You just did a great job. I'm proud of you. High fives all around. I didn't get marked. That's great. Okay, are there any questions, you guys? You want to give him a thumbs up or a love? He's all done. He knows where to go to get the prize box. That's what you can do when you're a tutor. I know you can't do that every time when you're a classroom teacher. Okay, so Michael says, awesome, Hudson, Gran, and Papa are excited to see your improvement. Yeah, he's really made some big leaps, because if you haven't been tracking with our young student, he's getting a prize. In November, he knew 6 or 7 letter sounds, and he could not segment CVC words. So obviously, when he's creating actually this for his first go round, He's representing a lot of sounds, even in the word hugging, hug-en or hugging. He's representing multisyllable words with all of their sounds. So you can see his phonemic awareness has taken a big jump. Yogita, thank you so much for saying that you're enjoying this. I'm glad you've learned some things. So if you have any questions or comments, or if you have students that you think that this would be too hard for and how you would adjust it, I'd love to talk about that. So initially he was not able to segment CVC words. Across the course of a 5-day a special challenge with me, he doing just one activity, switch it, he moved to having 17 consonants and most of his short vowels. And after the winter break, he started into advanced code, not just short vowels, but all those tricky long vowels and other vowel combinations, like the sound O can be OA, OW, OE, O silent E, O, and some others. And now he's continuing to learn some advanced phonics, but we're still simultaneously developing his phonemic awareness. Does he hear each sound in hugging? And so this is just an encouragement for you to take some of the journaling and the writing experiences that your kids are doing in the classroom, and from time to time, particularly the ones you're most concerned about, pick them up, pick their paper up and bring it over to your guided reading table and do a little write it, where you take the initial draft and you improve upon it, and as you improve upon it, you're teaching phonemic awareness, perception of sounds, spelling, phonics knowledge. And this is not just really to help him become more fluent as a writer, but also to help him improve as a reader, because they're bidirectional. It's pretty fascinating how when you build one, the other follows along in suit. And in fact, the process of reading and spelling the process of reading is a process of recognizing the individual phonemes of words, individual sounds and words, and that helps you become a better speller. And then when you're a better speller, you notice certain things about words, then you can read more and more words. So I'm not seeing any questions right now, but if you have one and you come across this later and you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. I would love to chat more about this activity, write it. And if you want to see where he was just in November as a kindergarten student, you can go to readingsimplified.com, and there's a short 5-minute video that kind of gives you an overview of how far he advanced in a 5-day sequence, just 1 week. All right, so I'm not seeing any other comments, but I'm so glad Yogita and others were here, like Michael, and be on the lookout. Hopefully this week, maybe tomorrow, if all goes well with my family life. Scheduling is kind of tricky. I'll have part 2 of, or my second episode of how Ask the Reading Coach. So that's going to be an ongoing segment that I'd like to do, and I'll try to nail down a reliable time, but it's tricky with kids' activities, to be honest, because all my kids are doing something every night. But hopefully it'll be available tomorrow night, Thursday, maybe 8 or 9 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for being here, you guys.